Okay, so I can feel the passion.
Full stack dApps.
I've talked to people today that are like, I don't want to deploy a smart contract with Solidity.
Yeah.
I want to deploy it with Rust.
Because Ink is Rust. Everything that we build, including the parachain, including the testing environment, the tooling that we build, everything is in Rust. And that's so powerful.
Ethereum Foundation is also investing time in building a Rust-style smart contract language. Sui and Stellar and Soraban, Solana, Arbitrum, and Stylus, Rust-based smart contract language. I can go on and on and on. Android is being rewritten in Rust. Windows is being rewritten in Rust. That's what Ink is.
Yeah.
That's what Polkadot is built on. All of Polkadot is Rust.
Our token is DOT.
We just use .token.
How are we feeling about Polkadot HUB? Is this something we can combine with, or is there reason to stay separate?
The launch team wishes you good luck and Godspeed.
Space Monkeys, blasting off with Peter White and Daan van der Plas, both co-founders of Rogue. And we're very lucky to have them on the show. Guys, welcome to Space Monkeys.
Glad to be here.
How do you describe it to your grandmother, what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the easiest way is we just try to make it easy for people to build on this new internet that Polkadot is powering. So we do that in a few ways, where it's like, if you don't have the technical skills to build it yourself, come to us. We will help you build it. But then we also do things where it's like, you are a developer and you want to build things on this new internet.
Sure.
We build tooling, we build a platform, and we build things that allow you to do that in an easy way. And of course, we provide support along the way as well.
Awesome. Would you say it differently, Dan?
We're building blockchains.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the division of labor here? You're both co-founders, but...
We have 6 co-founders.
Oh.
And we have also one developer helping us. So a team of 7 in total. Everyone is developing. And like the other things that needs doing, we are kind of like doing it on the go. So some do more like internal organization, some external facing, which is Peter mostly doing. And it's just because those people either like or mostly feel the urge to do those things.
I mean, between us, like between us two, this guy's the enforcer. I don't know if it's the Dutch in him or something, but he's straightforward.
You get things done.
I don't know. It's straightforward, and he really helps. It's just like, if we just get distracted, he just snaps us into place. And yeah, like you said, I've done a lot of presentations, a lot of public speaking, so I ended up kind of being a little bit of the external facing piece of things.
Sure.
But we're also both developers, so we write code, and it's also wearing a bunch of different hats when we need to.
What are the headline projects that Rogue is working on in the ecosystem?
Yeah, so we are one of the main maintainers of Paseo. Alejandro is really, really good at that. And then Pop, I mean, that's our big showcase thing. We've got Pop CLI, which is a tool that just makes it super easy to build parachains, build app chains, build smart contracts, and just carry you along that journey. And Pop Network, that's like the real core piece. Like, that's the platform where we allow people to really start building applications on Polkadot, applications that use all of Polkadot. And then we have some clients that we can't name, but we're super excited about them as well.
So what's the purpose of Pop? I heard about Pop first time like 8 months ago at the Sub-Zero last time we were in Bangkok. And it was like, Bruno was like, oh, so excited. You guys did a presentation on stage. People were pretty blown away by it. And this was also during the time where Ink was getting losing support from Parity. So it was kind of free floating, and there were a lot of questions of what was going to happen.
The 6 of us, the 6 co-founders that we are, all worked together in Parity.
Yeah.
And we worked in the external side, where we were building things for clients, for enterprises, and providing support. So from doing this for years and years, it's like the same things. Like, look, the developer experience is just bad. Like, it's too difficult to do things where you then have to come to experts like us to get it built, which, I mean, it's just not sustainable. It's not scalable. So we're like, you know what? We're getting decentralized from Parity. Let's build something that solves this. So one of the big problems is most people can't deploy a parachain. It's just too costly.
Yeah.
Infrastructure costs, so many things you have to do. Mm-hmm. I just want to deploy an application that is hosted by a blockchain. How do I do that? And that's where Pop really started from, was we're going to provide this, where you can build an application on a blockchain really easy, because we host everything for you. We're Pop Network.
You host what? What do you host?
We host your application.
Okay.
So it's like you deploy an application, and this application, to be clear, is a smart contract. Mm-hmm. A smart contract is an application that you deploy on a blockchain. In this case, Pop Network.
Wait, Pop Network is its own blockchain?
It's a parachain on Polkadot.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's just we say it's a platform because Pop Network is a place where it's like, yeah, deploy your application, but there's all the other things you can do in Polkadot too.
Yeah.
And it's like, we help you get started. We help you continue building along the way with tools like Pop CLI. Now, in terms of Ink, I mean, we really believe in the technology, because I think Daan can also say is, when I was looking into Web3, I found Polkadot not because of the technology, because I was still learning what blockchain was. So it's like, I didn't know why was Polkadot better. And the reason I stuck with it and went down this rabbit hole is because I got to build with Rust. I was super passionate about it. So it's like, I dove into Polkadot, and then that's when I really learned about the technology behind it. And that's when I was like, okay, this provides awesome infrastructure for blockchain and for Web3. It's proper without cutting corners. And that's what Ink is.
Gotcha.
That is still, I think Ink embodies Polkadot's vision at its core. It's like, you can build secure applications that stay decentralized and never cut corners. And I feel like that's what Polkadot is as well. And it was what Parady's done very well with Polkadot.
Yeah, you guys, now I'm remembering, you guys got one of the last slots of the auctions, didn't you?
On Polkadot?
Yeah.
No, we went for it though.
But you never ended up
No,
getting
we
it.
lost.
So what are you doing, core time now?
That's the plan. Yeah.
Oh, you're not live yet.
No, we're not live. No,
Okay.
we're not
Yeah,
live. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happens? Are you guys going to, like, does it have a token, or is it more like a service? People are just paying you to host
Yeah,
applications?
so our token is DOT. So we're using DOT as our fee token.
Cool.
And like honestly, like we are building the platform that we wanted to see in Polkadot.
Yeah.
We wanted to build applications in our smart contracts in Rust.
Yeah.
We also wanted it to be easy to use, and I said it in a few seconds to you. Like we wanted to use the power of Polkadot in an easy way. So that means using other chains, using the runtime. That's the first thing. Like, with ease and with everything that you need as a developer to just like build an application, like build a smart contract.
Yeah.
And yeah, we believe that didn't exist yet, or it wasn't enough what there was. So yeah, that was kind of the research that we did and the thing that we really wanted to build.
Yeah.
It's super exciting. Like one addition to what Peter said is, because Ink is Rust, everything that we build, including the parachain, including the testing environment, the tooling that we build, everything is in Rust. And that's so powerful. Yeah, and we're really excited to really elevate this developer experience for Rust smart contract developers in Polkadot.
Are there any applications launched on your testnet already, or are we still just kind of building the infrastructure for people to launch?
I checked today. We have 342 smart contracts deployed on Pop Network.
Who the heck deployed all those?
We've got teams like QuickBit. And
They just got a decentralized future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're supporting them, helping them out. And I mean, we've got teams we don't even know. There's
Really?
people just testing things out.
And we're like not very early in development, but we haven't put any time into that. Like we're building our stuff out.
I'm honestly surprised that people are building already. Yeah, because
Well, the thing is, like, okay, so there probably are smart contract parachains that host pallet contracts that can accept Ink smart contracts, but I don't know. I think they're not focused anymore on Polkadot, or people are not aware of them. And apparently, people are aware of Pop Network, which is good.
That's so awesome.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, like, why isn't like a star the right place? Like, why does it have to be Pop, for instance? But they've just kind of moved away.
I think a very clear answer to that is like, is Astar still on Polkadot? Well, they have their chain life, but I don't know if they're still
they're just
focusing
not
on
focused.
Polkadot.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, and I'm very bold here, but like, I think no chain has ever provided the developer experience for Ink smart contracts to thrive.
Right.
Because how can you thrive in an ecosystem as Polkadot that delivers like unique features that are not possible in other chains?
Shit.
Like that's the interoperability and using these custom runtimes that can be built using the Polkadot SDK.
It's cool.
And yeah, that's what we're doing.
And one thing I'll add too is we just use .token.
I know, right?
It's such an easy token to get. It's on a lot of most exchanges, most big exchanges. You can buy DOT. You can then go deploy smart contracts with it. With things like Astars, like, you know, a few years ago, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to deploy something on Astar. I couldn't even get a token as somebody in the US, right?
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure that's probably changed now, but it's just DOT is so easy to get. It's a token they already know. It's like if I want to build on Polkadot, I want to do it with a DOT token.
Cool. So how are we feeling about this Polkadot HUB, codenamed Plaza? Is this something we can combine with, or is there reason to stay separate?
I think there's reason to stay separate.
Okay.
And there's a few reasons, which is one, Plaza is going to support Inc. smart contracts as well.
Yeah.
But it's also managed and hosted by, it's as a hub, it's on Polkadot, but Parity is still kind of the leading force behind it, of course. And they've put a big focus on Solidity,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, Solidity is good. It's got a good market share in Web3 developers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another piece too is Plaza is everything on one chain is kind of the goal.
Yeah.
Everything is on one chain, allows smart contracts to kind of just live in this own little local ecosystem
Yep.
of Asset Hub or Plaza. What we're doing is we're just using DOT. So either way, Polkadot benefits if somebody deploys on Pop Network or on Plaza.
Yeah.
But we're really focusing on supreme developer experience, in particular for Inc. smart contracts. And we take it a step further, where we aren't just trying to live in our local environment. We are trying to do what I think was Polkadot's vision, allowing these parachains to build their services, build their things for this new internet, and let people compose applications around this, interoperability, right? For that to really take off, in my opinion, is people need to be able to use smart contracts that can compose Polkadot. And that's what we're doing. That's one piece of what we're doing, is we're providing these building blocks, these things that allow these developers to quickly build Web3 software, whether they need their own asset, whether they need to use something across Asset Hub, across Polkadot, whatever it may be. And we make that easy for them. We provide these rails, and we're trying to get it close to like a Web2 experience.
I don't know, this whole new avenue that Polkadot is going into with Plaza and providing this super chain for Solidity smart contract, because that's the goal. It's not Inc. It's Solidity smart contracts, where we don't care about Solidity contracts.
Yeah.
We will allow those Inc. smart contracts to interact with them, but like we're not gonna, like our platform is for Rust developers, and we are our own chain. We don't have fancy governance, purely for the reason because we first want to build out our features, and then we have to prove that we're even useful to the world, you know? If we're like, why would we already go into this governance process or build a system chain where we have to go through governance, which is so slow? Like it just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
And like I still need to be really see in my real eyes that this Plaza will provide this developer experience or this platform for the Solidity developers that they cannot find somewhere else. So we worked at Parity. There was always this like, I don't know, Parity didn't want to build change that already kind of like existed. They didn't want to compete or make competition.
Okay.
We want to compete with Plaza.
No, that's cool. I love that. Yeah.
So bring it on.
Pop Network is one piece of it. Pop Network is infrastructure. And we're really excited to provide the supreme developer experience.
Yeah.
Where it's not just building easily, but building easily in a way where you can get users and you can kind of have that flexibility to build maybe real world things.
What do you mean?
Good user
What do you mean
experience.
get users?
Like things where maybe it's easier to get traction.
Okay.
Where a user doesn't have to go and find a Polkadot wallet, get
I
DOT
see.
token,
Yeah.
transfer it onto Pop Network, and then use my application.
Cool.
I just want them to use my application.
I love it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can feel the passion. Yeah, you guys are turning me on to what you're doing. I really respect what you're doing, and I like the well, not stubbornness, but the tenacity to go forward, right? Even when kind of it seems like Inc. was shut down, and then they open competition, but you guys are going forward, and it's kind of like you're creating a situation where, well, perhaps in a few years there will be this alternate culture of smart contract development that isn't Solidity, right?
I mean, here's the thing: is like there's this culture that exists already. It's small right now, but I've talked to people today that are like, I don't want to deploy a smart contract with Solidity.
Yeah.
I want to deploy it with Rust, and they say Rust is the future. And I'm quoting here.
Yeah.
And I've had other developers say the same thing.
It's cool.
Where it's like, Rust is the future. And we see it more and more. Solidity has the market share because Ethereum, first mover advantage, right?
Yep.
Ethereum Foundation is also investing time in building a Rust-style smart contract language.
Yep.
Sui and Move is a Rust-based smart contract language. Stellar and Sorobon, Rust-based smart contract language.
There you go.
Arbitrum and Stylus, Rust Rust-based smart contract language. Solana, Rust-based smart contract. I can go on and on and on. Near, Cosm, all of these things are Rust-based. So I really think Rust is going to be the future of smart contract languages and just programming in general, because Android is being rewritten in Rust. Windows is being rewritten in Rust.
Wow.
Right? It's a language that helps make your stuff secure. And especially if I'm building an immutable application that potentially has millions of dollars flowing through it, I want it in a language that I can trust, a language that Google trusts, a language that Apple trusts, a language that Amazon trusts, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. So, I mean, we're passionate about Rust, and that's what Ink is. I just want to reiterate. That's what Ink is.
Yeah.
That's what Polkadot is built on. All of Polkadot is Rust.
So I want to hear then from each of you one example of an Ink application that is just so cool. You just couldn't do it anywhere else. Like, what can this do? Let's hear.
Well, so we did a presentation, what is it, yesterday? Peter did a presentation yesterday.
Yeah.
Internally, we were like, okay, we want to go to Sub-Zero, and we want to just like tell the world that we're really working really hard to like, build Pop Network. Because we have been very silent, but it's just, startup, figuring things out like as an organization and working together and like really building really hard stuff in a good way.
Sure.
What we have built the last couple of months, thanks to one of our teammates mostly, is so-called messaging rails. So we have the POP API that we provide to the smart contracts that allows these smart contract developers to make use of the runtime with one line of code. And it's versioned, so the smart contracts that use it are backward compatible. And they get rich error handling, which sounds very dull, but that hasn't been the case for these chain extensions, so-called.
Sure.
So you build chain extensions for a pallet to interact from a smart contract with these runtime features. But the problem that we saw is that all these chain extensions gave very, like, a subset of errors that could occur.
Okay.
So we built this POP API. This is kind of our secret sauce. And we built these messaging rails. So we integrated ISMP in Pop Network, and we're using ISMP and XCM under the hood of this messaging rails to query data from any chain or execute an XCM message on any chain, while the result of this query or the result of this execution is automatically fetched back into the contract, so that you can then build an application to actually continue with like the logic that you're building.
ISMP, the messaging
from
from Polkadot?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool. It's really cool. So what we did, like, it's a very simple contract, but we built a DAO.
Yeah.
Where when you wanted to register, you needed an NFT on a collection on Asset Hub.
Sure.
So you register, you call the register function, then this function does an ISMP query to Asset Hub to see if that caller to that contract has the item that it actually said it has.
Okay.
And then if it does, it then calls back into the contract with the result and then creates an NFT token locally on Pop Network, which is kind of the membership token of the DAO.
Okay, yeah.
So to be very honest, we have been very much into chain development, and we really need to up our game into like, okay, now let's use our technology and build like full stack dApps.
Yeah.
Full stack, not only the smart contracts. That's what we learned also this conference, or at least me. So yeah, that's something which I think is pretty cool.
A good use case that's already existing is Fala. Uses Ink smart contracts.
Yeah.
They actually run an entire JavaScript engine in an Ink smart contract, which means they are running a different programming language in an Ink smart contract.
Okay.
And they have thousands of contracts deployed.
Okay.
Which is just crazy to think, like, Ink powers this. Ink allows this to happen because, once again, it's just Rust. So if you can do something in Rust that is in a no STD environment, for people that know what that is, then most of the time you can just do it in Ink.
Can you help me understand why that's mind-blowing?
I mean, it's just like blockchains are like, they're already in a constrained environment.
Yeah, okay.
And running a different programming language inside of a smart contract, inside of this constrained environment. Rust is basically fast enough and low level enough that it can run these things, and it runs it well.
Guys, this has been really eye-opening, to be honest, and I'm really glad we got to sit down and talk about this.
Good.
Where do people go if they want to get playing with this stuff?
So onpop.io is our website.
Onpop.io.
Yes, and onpop.io also Twitter. You will find our Telegram there. go into our Telegram chat if you need any help with Ink, the POP CLI, which is a really, really great tool for Polkadot development. We haven't even talked about this, but POP CLI is also, it's freaking awesome. And yeah, like we are really passionate about all of this and we want to help you. Hopefully we can go live soon and yeah, provide a platform for those Rust smart contract developers.
Real quick overview, like how does POP CLI make all of this even better?
I always like to use a story for this. So after I was decentralized from Parity, I had to give back my laptop, my super powerful laptop, and go back. It's because it was their laptop, right? It's okay.
Okay.
It took me, as a parachain developer that has been building parachains for 2 years, over 3 hours to get a parachain on the latest template that worked. With POP CLI, we can do it in 20 seconds. And that's just one piece of it. So you can get a parachain set up in 20 seconds. You can then, for smart contracts, we do really cool things. It's like a smart contract developer shouldn't need to start worrying about parachains. So they just run one command and it'll handle all of the backend stuff to launch a parachain and then deploy the smart contract on it. So they can just live in their local environment. They don't need to like go out of it. I mean, it does quite a lot. Is like it helps you set up your parachain to actually be able to deploy it on Paseo. It builds a spec.
So it's for building bigger than contracts. It's for building like a whole blockchain.
Yeah, it's just like it sets up your environment. So you run one command. It sets up all of your Polkadot environment.
Wow.
You can generate parachain templates. So like we have OpenZeppelin, and actually we just integrated OpenZeppelin's EVM template as well.
Nice.
So if you want a super quick way to start, that'll help you.
Okay, cool.
I think right now, last we checked, they had like 150 monthly active users, and Polkadot's got like 780 active developers. So if the math is mathing, which is rough math, you know, it's like over 10% of Polkadot developers are using POP CLI.
Guys, so nice talking to you. Thanks very much for coming on the show and wishing you all the success in the future.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here, talk with you, and get to be on Space Monkeys.